Alright, what's going on, everyone? It is Greg and Matt here from Project Unbroken. As you all know, we're former drug and heroin addicts, and Project Unbroken is all about bringing people through our addiction, showing them how we got through it, and kind of leading people to a healthier lifestyle. So make sure you subscribe below, plenty of videos coming. And today we are talking about smoking cigarettes. So we're going to talk about, kind of how we got into smoking cigarettes, and mainly like how we got off cigarettes. So I'll start it off. I remember the first cigarette I had, I was 7 years old. And I was, we were riding bikes to the creek, and I was like smoking a cigarette, and I fell off my bike because I got so dizzy. What's funny is I didn't smoke again till I think I met you.
Yeah.
And you know how messed up I used to get when I smoked cigarettes? Remember I used to have to lay down the back of the car?
For like an hour.
They used to fuck me up, like I would feel sick off them.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, but that was the first time I smoked, I remember when I was 7, I fell off a bike off like 2 drags, and then I met Matt, and I started smoking a little bit in high school, and I full-on started smoking when I was like 18. But when did you start?
I was pretty young. It was like 13. I remember I first tried to smoke cigarettes when I was like 12. I really wanted to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I was attracted to them early on.
I think as a lot of young kids, it kind of looks cool.
Yeah, I guess. I think that whole thing's kind of gone away. But it's dangerous. It's, I don't know what I was thinking, but I really wanted to smoke cigarettes, and I just couldn't. I would take a drag and I would start coughing really bad. And dude, I remember the first time I was in the back of one of my friend's cars. I couldn't drive yet, and it was my buddy was driving a couple of us around, and we were smoking cigarettes, and I took a drag, and it went down the pipe, and just felt great. And I was like, yes, like I'm in this, and I loved smoking from that point on. Like I really enjoyed it. I mean, I smoked. Yeah, I think I got you back into it for a while. I smoked for a while. I smoked for probably close to 13 years.
You were a daily smoker from the time you were like 13 to how old?
Fuck, probably like 26.
Yeah. So 10, 15 years.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so for me, again, in high school, I would try them a little bit here and there, but I didn't start smoking until I got out of high school, where I was smoking every single day. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know why I like this so much, because they made me feel sick a lot of times.
Yeah, and I'll say, Greg, I was kind of like giving you cigarettes or encouraging you to smoke when we were pretty young, and Greg was able to drive before me, and I remember we'd be out, and we wouldn't smoke in Greg's car. His car was like immaculate, and so we'd be like in shopping centers, and we'd smoke a cigarette, and he would no shit have to lay on the ground for like 30 minutes.
Nauseous. Feel totally nauseous.
Yeah, like real dizzy. And I'd be like, dude, I gotta get home.
I'd be like, I can't get up yet. I can't fucking move.
He couldn't drive. Yeah.
Eventually that went away as I smoked more and more. But that's crazy that I continued smoking knowing what it did to me. That just shows you how addictive it can be. But I think the main point of this video is we want to talk about how did we actually get off cigarettes. So what led us to get off? Because for me, it wasn't that hard.
No.
I mean, how did you get off? You remember how it happened?
Yeah. For me, well, I didn't really want to quit. No shit. No, nobody does. But I mean, I enjoyed it, and I started to work my way back into, because I smoked through my heroin addiction, and after in my recovery, even through Suboxone, after Suboxone, I was smoking the whole time. But I did start exercising strictly in an effort to help me with my heroin addiction recovery, that whole process. We go into that in some of our other videos, how important exercise is just for creating, endorphins, serotonin, all those feel-good hormones in your brain. Exercise really a big deal with that stuff. And I found CrossFit, and that was just like, I just started feeling really good about exercising. It's really difficult to smoke cigarettes and to CrossFit, and I wanted to be better, and so I just started slowing down smoking, and I kind of got to a point where I was like, I just don't even want to smoke anymore.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just, I had to find something that was more important than cigarettes were, and it just made the decision really easy.
What's funny is, so me and Matt, we had to go our separate ways when we quit heroin, because obviously you can't stay with someone you can't be connected with someone that uses heroin. I kept using, he quit. So we separated ways for like 5 years, and the first time you got in touch with me, I think we met up for like lunch or something, just kind of shoot the shit, and I was out there smoking a cigarette. I went to hand him one, he's like, nah, I don't smoke. I was like, The fuck? I was like, you don't fucking smoke anymore, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that clearly. But how it happened for me was very soon after I met Matt. He got me into the CrossFit gym, and I think I started by using e-cigarettes. Where I was like, all right, I'm not, the cigarettes are killing me. I'll go to e-cigarettes, and that helped a lot. I mean, I felt a lot better on the e-cigarettes. But even with the e-cigarettes, I noticed that something wasn't quite right. Like I would get this really dry throat. It was almost like I got sick every month. I would get like sick. It was weird. I think e-cigarettes are a lot healthier than regular cigarettes, and it was a good transition. But eventually, just like Matt, like I was working so hard in the gym that I didn't want to kind of hurt my efforts by smoking. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to do all this work, what the fuck am I going to smoke for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm putting in this much work and the smoking just hurt me, there was no point to it. So for me, it was exercise.
Yeah.
That got me out of it.
I mean, just even having this conversation, I think it really brings home the point that when you find something that's really important to you, no matter what it is, anything that's going to have a negative effect on that takes a back seat. Mm-hmm. I mean, because for me, like when I started exercising, I had no interest in quitting smoking, like at all. Like it was not, I was like, I can still do both, because I kind of did my shit in the gym back in the day, just old school weightlifting stuff, and my lungs weren't really necessary. And I really like to smoke cigarettes, but I found something I was passionate about, and it just kind of knocked all that negative shit out of my life. It at least really, really helped.
What's crazy is like when you stop smoking, you realize how much better you feel.
Oh my God.
Like I used to get out of breath walking up steps.
Having sex, dude.
Unbelievable.
I used to like run out of breath and be like, this is not good.
And coughing and just feeling like shit. I mean, cigarettes, they're a slow killer. They're a silent killer.
They're a slow, silent killer, and it has just a way bigger effect on your day-to-day life than you initially think.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, when you're smoking every day, you just become so used to it, and you're kind of just moving in that pattern. But your lung capacity is garbage. You can't do shit without. Dude, I'd walk up a flight of stairs and be like, just like gasping for breath.
Right.
It's not a good situation.
So I know a lot of people are probably watching this video trying to figure out like what steps can they take to quit. I mean, what would be your recommendation for that?
God.
Because obviously we jumped into exercise and that kind of just happened, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, what would be a good recommendation do you think for someone to start quitting?
Again, this almost goes back to the same advice I would say to somebody who's trying to work their way off of out of a heroin addiction or something even much stronger. Try to find something, some sort of physical activity that you enjoy doing. It doesn't have to be CrossFit. It can be, riding a bike, whatever. Find something that engages you physically and mentally. And first of all, it'll have so many effects in your overall life. I think you'll be surprised if you just get yourself in a group setting with some sort of physical activity that you find enjoyable. And I think a lot of the stuff you do that, whether it's drinking or smoking, even if you don't have a serious addiction, not that those aren't serious addictions, but something more along the lines of hard drugs, a lot of this stuff just seems to take a back seat to the thing that you are passionate about. And it's not always easy to find those things, but try stuff out. Nobody knows what they're passionate about until they try it. It's not, you don't wake up one day and say, like, I'm passionate about yoga. Go try a yoga class. Go, I don't know, rent a surfboard. See if you pick that up. Whatever it is, find something that you enjoy doing. And anything that's going to hinder your performance in that will start to fall away.
Yeah, for me, I can just kind of speak from experience. I recommend e-cigarettes. If you've tried to quit and you can't, go to e-cigarettes. I mean, I think it's a stepping stone. Speaking from experience, I don't think e-cigarettes are totally healthy for you, but I know they're a whole lot healthier than regular cigarettes. I can just tell you by the way I felt and all of that. And it was easier to transition off. E-cigarettes come in different levels of nicotine. The highest is like 24 milligram. Then it goes all the way down to 0, so where you get the mouth, the lung, the habit, you get that in, and you still get the smoke and the feeling, but there's no nicotine in it. And then once you realize, all right, well, the nicotine's gone, you just got to get rid of this hand-to-mouth since cessation, I guess they call it, that I'm used to, that's the last kind of step, and that's how I did it. I started a high dose of nicotine on these cigarettes, dropped way down to 0, where I'll just kind of smoke it just for that cessation, and then from there it was pretty easy to quit.
That's a really good point. I didn't really know too much about the e-cigarettes when I initially went to quit, but again, I wouldn't say that they're healthy by any means, but it's definitely better than smoking cigarettes. And I think if you couple those two together, a stepping stone, kind of getting yourself away from regular cigarettes, and then maybe adding some different kind of activity into your life, you could have really great results. But again, it's just kind of keeping your eye, on the ball with that sort of thing, and not falling back to the cigarettes, because they're readily available at every gas station you go into. So just do your best to keep that stuff out of mind. And I don't know how e-cigarettes work. Is that something you can even, can you buy those in a CVS or?
Oh yeah, you can buy them pretty much any gas station now. You can order them online. You can get them pretty much anywhere now.
I think that's a great stepping stone. It would almost be like a maintenance program kind of thing for cigarettes.
As long as you use it correctly.
Yeah, just use it correctly. And again, try to set yourself a timeline or a goal to be finished with that. So give yourself a year, whatever it is, 18 months to kind of work your way down that same path with the e-cigarettes. And it should be a little bit easier that way to work your way out.
You also probably got to take a look at your lifestyle. And if you're going out to bars every night, your chances of quitting are going to go way down. So you got to take a look at your lifestyle, who you're hanging around, the people around you smoke. That's all going to affect your chances of quitting.
Absolutely. Yeah, and a lot of our videos, Greg and I talk about other things that help with stuff like heroin addiction. But in our eyes, I think all addictions are very similar. It just depends on, how serious they might be, but the steps you take are pretty similar in all of them. And if you surround yourself in the right atmosphere with the right people, it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah, and look, I'm not trying to judge, but the whole idea of this project is to push people towards a healthy lifestyle. And we see a lot of people come out of addiction who are like, well, whatever, I quit my addiction to whatever drug it is or alcohol, I'm keeping my cigarettes. No, the cigarettes kill more people than pretty much anything besides sugar, I believe. So even though it's a slow death, you mentioned in another video that alcohol and stuff like that's more looked down upon because the results are immediate. You get drunk, you go out and crash a car. But with cigarettes, you don't see that cancer is forming over a 20-year period. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
Just be aware that just because you're not seeing the immediate effects of the cigarettes, besides maybe coughing and not feeling as well, which you don't even realize at the time, it shouldn't be something you're like, well, I got rid of my drug addiction, this is okay to do still, because it can hurt you.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's what Project Unbroken is about in general. It's not just saying okay, I'm off heroin, that's good enough. We are looking to help people overcome their addiction and then really, make their life what they want it to be. And for us, it's not mediocre. We're looking to optimize the way we feel, to optimize the way we think, and to take steps to just live a better life overall. And again, there's no judgment there at all, but we've been to that point where we were through our heroin addiction, we're kind of smoking cigarettes and whatever. Our lives weren't as good with cigarettes in them as they are without. We're just more physically active, and that just leads down to a better path in a lot of different ways. So it'll help you out long run. It'll help you out. You just got to kind of set up a game plan and follow the blueprint, and you guys can take it wherever you want.
Yes, if you have any more questions on cigarettes or anything, any kind of drugs, alcohol, anything, let us know. We got plenty more videos coming, so make sure you subscribe below. We'll see y'all in the next one.
See you guys.